Hi families, my name is Karina and today we will be talking about emotional regulation. Emotional regulation is a skill and it's what we use to manage our emotional states through self-soothing and different coping mechanisms that we learn. It's important to encourage the development of emotional regulation in children because that is how they learn to respond in more safe and appropriate ways during times when they're feeling overwhelmed or upset. There are different zones of regulation, and all of these are perfectly healthy and normal for children to experience. The most learning, however, typically takes place within the green zone, and so the benefit to developing emotional regulation is that we teach children how to bring themselves back into the green zone when they're not already there. When we are not in the green zone, this is called emotional dysregulation because it's the opposite of regulation. When children are experiencing dysregulation, they may be having difficulty controlling their emotional response to stressful or challenging situations. And this can come out in the form of challenging behavior, or when children may have a big reaction that seems out of proportion given the situation. When we look at the brain on the left illustrates a child who is in the green zone. Their thinking and feeling brain are in balance and they're ready to learn. On the right represents a brain of a child who's emotionally dysregulated. So when a child experiences big emotions, such as frustration or feeling super excited, their feeling brain actually takes over the thinking brain. Some scientists call this the thinking brain going offline. And in that moment, the child's actions and behaviors are being driven by their feelings rather than their thinking and reasoning skills. This is why when a child is having a tantrum, it may feel impossible to reason or negotiate with them. They're really not thinking clearly, and their body's not in a place where they can work through the situation in a reasonable way. This is why it's really important to soothe the feeling brain and help the child calm down before they're ready to really think and learn a more safe and appropriate way to handle the situation. Affect is a really powerful tool that we can use to help children regulate, and this is the expression of our emotional states. We show affect through what we display non-verbally, as well as what we express with words and the way that we say those words. By modifying our affect, we can respond to the child's emotional state and help bring them back into the green zone. For example, if a child is really sleepy or feeling sad, approaching the child with high affect, such as using animated facial expressions and a really excited tone of voice, for example, we can re-energize the child so that they can get back into feeling ready to learn. However, it's not such a good idea to use high affect with a child who's feeling overwhelmed or frustrated because this can actually make them feel more dysregulated. Instead, a child who's overwhelmed will need us to approach them with lower affect. And we can do this by using more calming facial expressions, slowing down, and using a more quiet and soothing tone of voice to communicate with the child. When we adjust ourselves in response to the child's need, moment to moment, this is called co-regulation because you're regulating together, and it's really a partnership, a team effort. It's key to development when we co-regulate because we allow children to experience a wide range of emotions, but then we're there with them to help process and repair the situation together. This is the foundation to coping, and we need coping skills across our entire lifetime. Co-regulation can look like joint problem solving or figuring out how to fix and repair the situation that was stressful or challenging together. It can include breathing exercises, which calms the feeling brain and helps to bring the thinking brain back online. It's also very helpful to explain the situation while comforting your child. This is because it helps the child to understand what's going on. Here are some examples of things you can say to help the child process their emotions. It's really helpful to use these phrases because then the child better understands what's going on, and the next time they encounter a similar or the same situation, they'll remember what the label of that situation is, and they may even remember the tools that you used together to process the situation the first time. Thank you for watching, and I hope this was helpful.